Alright, the process, thankfully, is pretty much the same for all these graphs. We're going to go the absolute value of 4, and that's equal to 4, and that's equal to our A. Negative 2 plus 4 equals to 2. Negative 2 minus 4, that's equal to a negative 6. This is my high point. This is my low point. Now, the period for secant is the same as the period for cosine, which is 2 pi. But because we're having the phase shift, then it's 2 pi over 4, that's equal to our period. And our interval length will be 2 pi over 4, which is equal to 2 pi over 16, and this is our interval length. For secant, in order to see nicely what's going on, you should make it from negative pi over 2, and this is going to be strictly less than, because we're making sure that our original endpoints are our asymptotes, and to 3 pi over 2. This way you have nice looking curves and you don't have half of a curve. That's really annoying. So we're going to subtract pi over 6 and divide 4 on both sides. So negative pi over 2 minus pi over 6, all of that is over 4. And similarly, we're going to do the same math on the other side. Subtract pi over 6 and divide that by 4. And what you end up with is negative 8 pi over 48 and 16 pi over 48. Now, remember our original interval was 2 pi over 16, so we're going to have to make it so it has a denominator of 48, and we can simply do that by multiplying 2 pi over 16, the numerator and denominator, by 3. So now the interval is going to be 6 pi over 48. Alright, these are the points. Now, with positive secant, the pattern will be the same. You'll have, and it's always going to be the same, you'll have your asymptote, you'll have your high point, you'll have an asymptote, you have your low point, and you'll have an asymptote. And it's the same exact thing for cosecant, if you use the same endpoints that I'm showing you. So, our asymptote occurs at our K. So, this is at negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. Our high point was 2. Our low point was negative 6. And these are the points, the main points that I'm going to be plotting on my curve. Alright, so now here's our curve with everything plotted. Remember, our new horizontal axis is shifted down 2 from 0, so we're at the negative 2 line. And the pattern is the same. So we start with my my vertical asymptote. Then we'll plot our high point, which is at 2. Then vertical asymptote. Then we'll plot our low point, which is at negative 6. And vertical asymptote. Now, anytime at your high point, you are going to make an upward parabola. And That's not at 2. Because this curve has to follow the asymptotes, what we should do is find the y-intercept, and the y-intercept is about 2.67. And remember, anytime we're at our high point, we're going to do an upward facing parabolic looking thing, and anytime we're at a low point, we're going to do an upside down parabola. Low, upside down, and high is right side up. And I know, I'm sorry, this is a terrible looking parabola. Well, you know, it's not exactly fully parabolic, but we're just going to say that it is. And of course, this is not drawn to scale. But here is a rough sketch of one period of this curve.